All right, everybody, it's Wednesday night. You know what that means. It's time for another episode of All Right Bet. Louie, let's get it going.
Wanna bet?
Cash money.
It's time for another episode of All Right Bet.
Wanna bet?
No! God, please, no! No!
Tease it. Tease it.
Want a chicken dinner.
I'd buy that for $1.
Yes, it's time for another episode of All Right Bet, guys, and you know the deal. It's your trustworthy boy, Mikey Wilson, here on DWMOD. That's disagree with me or don't, because that's how it works. My co-host, Andy St. Clair, he is out for the night, guys. I know you're looking forward to, you always have some deep insight, but I promise you, I have enough to get you guys through this weekend and through next week until next Wednesday with your free college football bowl picks, with your free NFL picks, man. So it's with the home situation going on. Andy talked about it last week, man. It's thoughts and prayers for the St. Clairs. They'll get it together, and Andy be back for the Big Six picks. But like I said, I got enough for you this week. And on that note, something else you ought to know this week. We are now officially brought to you by Kuttin Loose.
We cutting loose.
That's right, man. We're cutting loose here on DWMOD. Every Wednesday night, it's All Right Bet. Now, guys, you know how we normally start the show. We're going to let you know how we did you right last week, and let's get to the winners we handed out last week now. There's the music. Louis cues it up. Not a lot of college football games were last week, guys, but we set you up with South Alabama minus the 6.5 against Western Michigan. That hits. We also set you up with Memphis -3 and the over. Both of those came in last night. We set you up on some teasers. We told you to take South Alabama minus the 6.5, but take Western Michigan in the teaser at plus 14.5. That hits. The under 64.5 there, also on the teaser. That hit. And in college football, pretty good weekend. But moving on to the NFL, we gave you guys a bunch of winners in the NFL last week. We gave you the Rams. We gave you the Ravens. We gave you the Bengals, the Broncos, the Cardinals, the Vikings. All covered, all right, on our teasers. Same thing. We lined those up for you. We handed out the winners there. Now, guys, one thing I will... Oh, stopped abruptly there, Louis. You knew what we were getting to. We're going to tell you the truth a little bit. Us, just like everybody else last week, we ate it on the Bolts-Bucks game, and we also ate it on the Commanders and New Orleans. Everybody went down on that, guys. Everybody went down on that. Those were two bummer games from the weekend. Also, Army. We were all over Army. Major Rob Frost was on the show giving his pick. We were all three of us were on Army and the over, and Captain America it was Civil War, man. Civil War, Captain America, Civil War. Looked like everybody was out to get the cap, man. He just didn't show up, man. I felt bad for the kid. Great season, Army. They're going to play in a bowl game. Now, Marshall is backed out of that bowl game due to transfer portal, coaches leaving. This is the new identity in college football. So if you're going to be betting on bowl games this weekend, guys, you had better be paying attention to all the information I'm going to lay out for you this weekend. It's not as easy as it used to be. You're not going to tune into bowl games for the NCAA and just be like, oh, I think Michigan and Alabama. I think Alabama's going to win. You better know who's sitting out the game. You better know who is in the transfer portal, which teams have lost coaches, where these games are being played. Now more than ever, you need to be dialed in. So I'm going to tell you, we're going to get to some free college picks. I have dialed in on the bowl games for you. We have a good number of games this week. Last week wasn't that many. But before we do that, we got to get to paying some bills. And as always, for the new people here coming over to us on Cuttin Loose, you need to know that a major part of this show, and we are very lucky to have him, it's minor league baseball Hall of Fame announcer, Gordon Butterfield. He is on the show with us. He does our little ad segments called What Just Happened. Company wants an ad. They get at us and they say, hey, here's a little clip of a fail video, and we'd love to have Gordon Butterfield on the call. So let's get to it. Gordon Butterfield, take it away, my friend, with What Just Happened.
What just happened?
What Just Happened is brought to you by Black Hawk Coffee. Start your day off with Black Hawk Coffee, and you'll be flying high and landing right on time. That's Black Hawk Coffee, a Colombian bean company.
Janet Lipnicki with a fresh cup of black hot coffee, looking to take on a washed-out beef patch. A ginger 1-2, and she's in the clear. Oh, sniper! Oh, what just happened? Looks like we've got action from the 6-story window of the book depository as Janet takes that second step. Oh, bang! Down she goes. Let's take one more look, and here we see she goes wrong right there. She's simply uncoordinated, and bang! Her face in the sand quicker than an ostrich. Oh, that's gotta hurt. Somebody put some chalk around that coffee. Black Hawk down. Oh, what just happened?
What just happened, Gordon, my friend? Well done on the call there, man. Always a good time. Gordon Benefit, he's a classic and a legend. Let's get to these NCAA games this week. Now, of course, this weekend we got the first round of the CFP football playoffs, right? College football playoffs expanded to 12 teams this year. This weekend will be the first weekend ever for that. Okay, there's 4 games being played this weekend. Now, 3 of them, you're going to have to catch us on Friday night for those 3 over on the Big Six Picks. Now, you know the deal with the Big Six Picks. It's sports. It's commentary. Me and my host, Andy St. Clair, will have a guest picker on the show. We'll be chopping it up on all kind of topics that happen during sports in the week. And then at the end of the show, we'll get to the Big Six Picks of the week. 3 college football games, 3 NFL football games. And this week, guys, that's going to be Tennessee and Ohio State. That's going to be SMU and Penn State. And that's going to be Clemson and Texas on the college side. For the NFL games, we're going to be looking at Texas and Kansas City. We'll be looking at the New York Giants and the Atlanta Falcons, who will be starting Michael Penix. We'll be talking about that big time on Friday. And we're going to have the Eagles and the Washington Commanders. So outside those games, I'm going to give you the rest of the games for the week, and I've got the information for you. Let's start with action tonight, Wednesday night. It's the Boca Raton Bowl. We've got Western Kentucky at plus 7.5. They're taking on James Madison University. The over-under here is 50.5, guys. And I'm going to tell you, Andy says, get on the under in this game. Just get on the under in this game. I'm going to be staying away from the over-under in this game. I don't like roster turnover. Now, James Madison, pretty whole. They've got a few transfer portal kids going. Western Kentucky loses QB1 and QB2. I think they're starting a third-string quarterback in this game. So we are going to be on James Madison. But, guys, listen to me. Like I tell you every week, we are not going to be dictated to by Vegas whether we win or not. We're going to take the odds into our own hands. We're going to buy the point. We're going to take this to 6.5 because it's not about winning at minus 110 for how much money you can get. If they're going to bump you to 125 to take minus 6.5, let's secure the W and get that money in our wallet, right? We are going to be on James Madison here at minus 6.5. Their roster's a little more intact. They got a lot more riding on this game. Western Kentucky coming off a bad beating in the conference championship game of theirs. We're going to be on James Madison here, guys. Now, the other game tonight is the Art of Sport Bowl. Now, we talked a little bit about this last week. Andy laid it out for you. This thing opened up with Cal as a -3 favorite over UNLV. In the course of the last week, this thing has switched to UNLV being the favorite and laying 3 points to Cal. That's where this thing sits right now. Now, if you were listening last week and you got in on the action at UNLV +3, you're in the driver's seat. And we told you then, jump on this thing now. You're in the driver's seat because Cal, again, a team that lost a bunch of guys to the portal. They lose both their starting quarterbacks. They're on a third-string quarterback for this football game. UNLV, yeah, they've lost their coach. He's headed to Purdue. But listen, this is a team that's going to be looking to try to win this game. They can score points. It's a team we feel confident in, and so do the pros. When you see a line switch from -3 to +3 on a team, that means the pro money's coming in. And we want to be where that's at, guys. We're going to be on UNLV -3. Be smart if you want. Buy the half point. Take UNLV -2.5 on this one. Those are both the games on Wednesday night. I've got UNLV as one of my money line dogs for the week. And you're saying, Mikey, they're not dogs though now. Now they're +3. But I told you to get on them last week when they were dogs. So I've got a couple of bets where I've got UNLV to win outright as a 3-point dog. That's a money line dog, guys. Now, money line dogs on the season for us this year. Looking for my number here. I think we're 30-21. We've hit 30 times and lost 21 times on money line dogs, guys. That's really, really good money. All right, let's jump to tomorrow night's game. Thursday night, the New Orleans Bowl. We've got South Georgia and Sam Houston. We also laid this one out for you a little bit last week. Sam Houston got like 30 guys in the transfer portal. Everyone has bailed. It's a sinking ship. South Georgia, Southern Georgia, their roster pretty intact. They've got their guys. This line has moved. All right, it's at -6 right now. We are going to be on Southern Georgia at -6 to a depleted Sam Houston team. We just are. Now, careful on the over-under here, guys. I'm going to stay away from this one. At 48.5, when you have turnover like that, yeah, we think South Georgia can probably put up a bunch of points on a Sam Houston third-string defense. But in order to get that over, you need Sam Houston to do some scoring, and I'm just not sure they're going to. I don't like it. I'm going to stay away from it, but I am all over South Georgia at -6. Now, this next game, some things you need to know about. This is Friday night. This is the Staff Dan Cure Bowl, okay? We've got the MAC champion, the Ohio Bobcats, off a big MAC champion upset win to Miami, which we predicted here on the show. Everybody was on Miami. We told you right here on that show, if you listened that week, get on Ohio to pull off the upset. Had them as a money line dog. They waxed Miami. We were all over it. They are going to take on the Atlantic Conference champion, Jacksonville State. Okay, Jacksonville State, I'm going to tell you this right now. It is Ohio -3 to Jacksonville State. Now, we all know Rich Rodriguez was the coach of Jacksonville State. He's leaving. He's going back to West Virginia. Okay, Ohio's head coach leaves as well. Both coaches have left their teams for this game. So here's what you need to know. How many guys are in the portal and bailed with their coaches? Okay, for Jacksonville State, they've got a lot of guys on their defense gone for this game. Gone. Okay, the defense is extremely depleted and, quite frankly, having some trouble down the stretch anyway. Miami, pretty much whole. They've got Navarro. They've got their guy. They want to run the football, but so does Jacksonville State. Jacksonville State wants to run the football in this thing as well. The difference is Jacksonville State likes to get going with the run and go no huddle and score a ton of points on you and get moving. Ohio, as you saw in the MAC championship game, they like to milk the clock and beat you to death, and Navarro will beat you running, he'll beat you throwing. Listen, everything you're reading on the internet right now is going to tell you, come bowl season, fade the MAC. Don't take the MAC. The MAC doesn't do well in bowl games. Jacksonville State, going to take this thing, take Jacksonville State and the 3 points. That's the smart play here. Wrong. We are going to be on Ohio -3, guys. By that half point, get it to 2.5. We're going to be on Ohio -3 points in this game and stay away from this over under at 54.5. That's a dangerous one. It should hit that. I personally believe if you're going to be on Ohio, you're on the under here. They're going to milk the clock. You're going to be, but there's always that chance that Jacksonville State could get going and put up some big points. Just stay away from the over under. Be on Ohio -3. That's where we're going to be. Another game Friday night. It's the Homs. It looks like it says Moms, but it's Homs. I guess it's a mortgage company. It's the Gasparilla Bowl. We've got the Florida Gators -13 to Tulane. Now I'm going to tell you about this game right now. Tulane's quarterback gone. The backup also in the portal. Says he's going to maybe play. We don't know what's going on with this thing. This kid's in the portal. Looks like a third-string quarterback for Tulane. We do not like that look, okay? Florida, the Gators, all the way intact. Hot down the stretch in the SEC. Got very competitive after a very bad start. Got themselves into a bowl game. This is a very, very must-win game for Florida. And they should win the damn game. I mean, there's no doubt about it. We're taking Florida laying the 13. Tulane missing a lot of guys, missing 2 quarterbacks, finished the season on a down note, just getting beat. They got beat by Army, got beat by Memphis. Tulane is on the downswing right now. Florida on an upswing and absolutely must win this game for Coach Billy. It's going to be Florida -13. We're going to be taking that all day long, guys. Also on Friday night, game 1 of the college football playoffs will have Notre Dame at home hosting Indiana, the Indiana Hoosiers in the playoffs at Notre Dame. It's the battle for Indiana. Listen, Notre Dame -7. That's where we're going to be. We're also going to be on the over on this thing, guys. Take the over. It's 51.5. Both of these teams are going to score points. I think Notre Dame's going to score more. I got in on this thing early. I'm on Notre Dame at like 5. Okay, get in on Notre Dame at 7. Get it to 6.5. Be on Notre Dame. That's where we're going to take this one, Notre Dame for sure. Now, here's some good insight on some money on the next 2 bowl games of college football that will be Monday. It's the Myrtle Beach Bowl. Now, in the Myrtle Beach Bowl, we're going to have UTSA -9 to Coastal Carolina. Coastal Carolina is playing a home game here, not just because it's in Myrtle Beach, but literally the game is being played at their field. This is a home game for Coastal Carolina, but they're 9-point dogs for a reason. QB1 and QB2 in the portal, bounced, gone. They've got a kid going to start this game that's never taken a college snap, and they're 9-point dogs. I don't like it. 6 defensive starters are out as well for Coastal Carolina. Come on, man. UTSA intact, mainly because toward the end of the year, they started getting hot. They started bombing teams. They started scoring points. This team really clicked. They got behind the coach. Everyone's staying. Nobody's in the portal for these guys of substantial need. All right. They've got their guys. They finished the season strong, and they really want to hammer home a bowl win. I've got this thing all over the board this weekend, guys. UTSA -9. Coastal Carolina is a depleted shell of itself. We're going to be all over that UTSA -9, and we're going to take the over. This over is going to be at 55.5. We like that. I really think UTSA could score in the 40s on their own in this thing. We just need Coastal Carolina to come through with 10 points, a late score, and give us that backdoor over at 55.5. Like that one. Going to take it. All right, last college game for the week. We got 2. We've got 2 more. There's one more right now, the Idaho Potato Bowl. That's also on Monday night. Now, we've got Northern Illinois -3 versus Fresno State. The over-under here is 39.5, which is low, screams ugly football, and there's a reason for it. Now, remember I told you before, everybody wants to fade the MAC. Don't bet the MAC in this one. The hot pick here is to take Fresno State, and here's why. Coach Tedrington has to step down a second time. He's got some heart issues. He's got some health issues. He's got to step away. Fresno State has hired a new coach. He will not be coaching this game. All right, they'll have their longtime friend to Tethering, linebacker coach and assistant head coach. He'll be coaching the football game for these guys. So that's why this is the hot pick, Fresno State. They're fired up to go out and get this one last win for coach. But again, here's the thing. Their quarterback is in the portal. He's gone, and he's the heart and soul of the team, man. Northern Illinois loses their quarterback as well. Both quarterbacks out in this game. Okay, both of them. Now, like I said, Skipper will be coaching the Bulldogs. They're going to rally up for coach. I fully believe that they will. But their top 2 receivers are out, and they're starting a third-string quarterback. I think they're starting a third-string quarterback. Second stringer may not even play. And they're down their 2 top wide receivers. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. Couple that with the fact that they're down 2 defensive tackles. 2 defensive tackles are out of the game for Fresno State as well. And Northern Illinois likes to run the football. And they've got a kid that's going to come in at quarterback, and he's a dual threat kid. He's going to do just that. We're going to take the MAC again here, guys. And I'm not just being a homer. We're going to take Northern Illinois, laying the 3 points. I get it. Fresno's the hot pick. But here's what we're going to do with this one, guys. We're going to try to, as Andy would put it, thread the needle. We're going to thread the needle here. We're going to take Northern Illinois, laying the 3, and we're going to take Fresno State on a money line. Well, so we're not really threading the needle, though, are we? Andy would correct me on that. That's not really threading the needle here. That's when you're playing the spread both ways and hitting both. We're going to take Fresno just as a little hedge bet. We're going to take Fresno on a hedge and take them on a money line bet. I'm going to put them on one parlay, and that's it. But I like Northern Illinois in this game, and I do like the under. I like the under at 39.5. This is going to be an ugly game. Be on that under at 39.5. Tease that thing up to 46 or whatever. Get there and jump on that under. Last college game of the week. I'm all over this one. I really, really like this one. I hate to use the term lock, but I really like this one. It's the Hawaii Bowl. You got San Jose State. They're -3.5 versus South Florida. Now, if you got in on this thing earlier in the week, which I did, you could have got in on San Jose State at -2.5. You can still do that. Buy the point. Be smart. Do that. But this, listen, this is going to be San Jose State all day. All day. This is an offense that can score points, especially against bad defenses, which is what South Florida is. But also, This is going to be a home game in Hawaii for San Jose State. Their head coach is a University of Hawaii Rainbow Warrior legend. He took them to their first bowl game in like 1989. He's one of the greatest players in Hawaii high school history. The turnout for this game from Hawaiians to come out and cheer this dude on, this is going to be a rocking home game for San Jose State. I'm telling you that right now. Now, their starting quarterback, is a star for them, Nash, he's going to play. He has already stated he is playing. They've got their quarterback. They've got their team intact. And the coach is going to be getting all kind of accolades at this game. The crowd's going to be behind them. Listen, I could go on and on with some more reasons for San Jose State, but let me give you some information on South Florida. They're banged up. They are banged up at the quarterback position, and they have been for a while. And they've only really scored points when they've played bad teams. When they play mediocre teams, they're in dogfights of low-scoring affairs. All right. They also lose their top safety to the transfer portal, and they've got one of the worst secondaries in the country. So they're losing the best player on the worst unit in the country, just about in the secondary. They've got some other defensive losses in the portal up front, in the front seven. I don't understand why this thing's only -3.5. Guys, get all over this thing. Get all over this thing. San Jose State, get it down to 2.5. Jump on this and get paid. Our 3 money line dogs for the week, we're only playing 2. We're only playing 2. We already told you UNLV we're on, and we're going to roll Fresno State. We like the favorites and everything else to the point we're not even going to throw any money at it. But it's not. We're just not. All right, now, let me run you through a quick teaser. Quick teaser I'm going to play on the NCAA this weekend, guys. Jump on this one if you want to. 7-point teaser. You can also do super teaser, do the 13-pointer if you're not going to win a lot of money. But here's a 7-point teaser that I am playing. We're going to take UTSA -2. We're going to take Florida -6. We're going to take Southern Georgia at +1. Okay. We're going to take Notre Dame even against Indiana. And we're going to take James Madison -0.5 point. So it's a pick 'em, right? We're moving James Madison to a pick 'em. We're going to play that teaser, guys. Play a teaser. $5 on that thing, I think, is going to come through at about $45, $50. That's a good little teaser for you to play there. If you want to mix in some of those over-unders I was telling you and tease that with it, bump this thing up to a 10-teamer. You get a 10-teamer going, you're looking at about $75. I'm not encouraging you to do that. It's harder to hit on those things. But if you like some of those over-unders, pair them up. You know the rules here, man. I'm giving you the games we like. I'm giving you the picks that we like. You got to make your own parlays, man. And we like to keep it short and sweet. Keep them to 2 to 3 teams. If you're going to stretch to 5 or 6, be sure on some of these things, right? All right, let's jump to the NFL. This is going to be a short and sweet episode for you guys this week, man. We're going to jump to the NFL. Here's some games we like this weekend in the NFL. I like the Broncos at the Los Angeles Chargers, right? Chargers, usually you like a bounce back game for a team you just saw get their ass beat last week. That was the Chargers. But a little banged up down the stretch here, man. I don't know. Broncos looking good. You're going to give me the +3. I think this thing's going to be a shootout. I think it's a 3-point game. You're going to give the Broncos +3. I'm going to buy the half point. Give me the Broncos +3.5 in this game. I like them. I'm also going to be on the Broncos money line. I like their defense, and the Chargers are struggling to score points right now. So let's be on that. Now, here's a game everybody, I'm telling you right now, everybody and their mother is going to be on the Ravens. Ravens are laying 6.5 to the Pittsburgh Steelers. You know the rule on the show, guys. Tomlin as a favorite, we like. Now, the last time these teams met a couple of weeks ago, Pittsburgh won the game. Andy St. Clair laid it out for you guys on the show. In the history of this game, the average margin of victory is like 1.5, 2 points. This thing's always a barn burner. Nobody wins this thing by a touchdown. They have each other's number. Tomlin knows Harbaugh. Harbaugh knows Tomlin. This game is destined to be the same thing. Now, I know Pickens is going to be out, and everybody on, that show on television where everybody just screams and yells. That means that Russell Wilson can't get the ball downfield now, and there's no threat for blah, blah, blah. This game, a touchdown, no. We're going to be on Pittsburgh plus the 6.5 just because that's where the numbers are, guys. That's where the numbers are on this thing. The history of this game shows that. Let's be on the Rams -3 at the New York Jets. The Jets are abysmal. Rams are trying to narrow in winning the division, maybe. They got a shot at taking the West. They've got a big shot at getting into the playoffs. They've been hot. You just saw them score 50 points and whack the Bills. Matt Stafford is the biggest non-talked about quarterback in the league this year. This guy is amazing. I'm a big fan. He's playing great. He's finally got Puka. He's back and completely healthy. All right. You also got Cup back and healthy. We're going to take the Rams, especially if you're getting them at 2.5. Rams minus 2.5 at the Jets all day long, guys. We're going to jump that. Bengals at Browns. We saw Jameis Winston get benched last week for Thompson Robinson. That's where the Browns are at right now, which tells me they're not trying to win football games. They're not trying to win football games, and the Bengals are desperate to win football games because they still got a murmur of a heartbeat to getting in the playoffs. Joe Burrow is playing better than any quarterback in the league, not named Jared Goff or Josh Allen. He is. He's playing phenomenal. They just aren't winning games because they're losing 39-37. You know what I mean? Bengals minus 7.5. We'll take that thing to 6.5. We're going to be on the Bengals to beat up on the Browns this weekend. We like that. We like that. Colts minus 3.5 at home to the Titans. Yes. Yes. Titans are reeling. They don't have much going for them. Colts, bad game last weekend, but hey, we picked them to lose. We were all over that ship going down. But no bounce back this weekend. Anthony Richardson looking a little bit. Colts are just a better team. They're the better team. And if you're going to get this thing at 2.5, it's at 3.5 right now. You can buy a point, get it at 2.5. Give me the better team at home under a field goal. I'm going to do that every single time. Bills minus 14 at home to New England. Yes. You've seen what they've been doing. They are not playing around. We are in the home stretch here. The Bills are not trying to be the Kansas City Chiefs and stretch every game out to a strangling 3-point victory and get guys banged up. The Bills are absolutely in the business of let's get up to 45 points here. Let some guys take a seat. Let's start rushing up for the playoffs. They're going to smash the New England Patriots at home. Bills minus 14 is a gimme. I'll probably take the half point, get it at 13.5. You see what I do when I'm gambling. You see what I do. I like to protect my money. I'm going to buy that half point. It's not that much of a difference in how much I'm going to win, but it can actually make the difference in winning or losing. Bucks, red hot. I mean, Tampa Bay, Baker Mayfield, they're rolling. They are in a dead heat with the Atlanta Falcons. If they stumble and lose one game down the stretch here, they're not going to win the division. Atlanta could win the division, and they've already said we're done with Kirk Cousins. He's bad. Penix is going to start this weekend. Atlanta's taking a shot. They think they can win this thing down the stretch. They've got the Giants this week. They should win that game. This is the Bucks at the Cowboys. Now, we just saw the Cowboys beat up on Carolina, which I should have had. I should have had that on our 8. I mean, Andy had me all whipped up on that thing, and we were all in on Carolina because they've been looking good, and Bryce Young had been looking good, and we were all over Carolina last week. Had the blinders on, and it was right there. It was right there for us to clean up, taking the Cowboys as a dog in that game. I feel like an idiot for not doing it. Should have done it. Didn't do it. But that being said, 2 games in a row from the Cowboys, especially against a red-hot Bucks team that needs to win, or the way Baker's playing, no, that Dallas defense is in for some trouble. That offense is not going to be able to get going the way that they did against Carolina's defense. You give me the Bucks, and you know that's my magic number. When I really like a team and they're at -4, that means I can get them at -2.5. Pair them up with a couple other teams, take this thing home at under a field goal. But I like the Bucks at -4. I'll have them at -2.5, but I like them at -4 as well. Take that thing as well. Final game of the week that I like, Green Bay -14 at New Orleans. New Orleans is done. They're toast. They've chalked it up. They're not playing anymore. Green Bay's clicking on all cylinders. Why not get Green Bay at 13.5, 14 points? Normally, that's a pretty big spread for me. But I just think, when teams are this lopsided down the stretch, I'm going to be on Green Bay -14 to the New Orleans Saints. Who dat? Nobody. They got nothing. They're done. All right, let me give you a teaser. Let me give this little NFL teaser for the week. Now, I know you guys think I'm maybe talking a little too fast, throwing these things at you fast. This is the beauty of video, guys. This thing is on Cutting Loose Entertainment. You're on the YouTube channel right now. You can just scroll it back. And I'll tell you, take the Broncos again. You know what I mean? I'll tell you, take the Bucks again. That's how this thing's going to work. You can roll it back. You can listen again. Now, here's a teaser that I will be on. Okay, this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8-team teaser. 8-team teaser. Throw $5 on this thing. I think you'll come in at like $70, $75, man. It's worth a $5 shot. Here's what we're going to do. Green Bay -7 to the New Orleans Saints. We're going to take Pittsburgh Steelers +13.5 against the Ravens. I already explained to you why. You're going to give me 2 touchdowns there. Going to take it. We're going to take the Rams. We're going to cross the line with the Rams against the Jets because we're going to get the Rams +4. Crossing the line, you usually don't want to do that, go from negative to positive, right? But if you're going to get the +4, if the Jets are going to win this game at all, it's going to be by a field goal. Ain't going to beat the Rams by a touchdown. And then you're +4, like the Rams +4 there. We're going to tease the Bengals to an even match, right? We're going to take the Bengals in an even game against the Browns. They just need to win. Take the Bengals at even. We're going to take the Bills -7 in New England. That sounds like easy money. Sounds like just easy money. We're going to take the Bucks. We're going to cross the line with the Bucks as well. Okay, but this is going to put us at Bucks +3. That's fine. That's fine. If Chicago, if the Cowboys end up winning this thing by a field goal, that'll be a push. They're not going to beat Tampa Bay by a touchdown, I tell you that. And then somebody's going to tell you right now, well, why not just put the 7 on the Cowboys and be Cowboys +11? Because Tampa Bay could easily beat the Cowboys by more than 11 this weekend, and I expect that they will. So we're going to take the Bucks +3 here. We are going to be on the Atlanta Falcons -1.5 to the New York Football Giants. Okay, that's not giving away my pick for the Big Six picks in this thing. But I think Penix is going to spark this team. There's no way they're losing to the Giants this week. And the defense has been playing lights out the last 3 weeks. And I'm telling you, that's why the franchise is making this move. If the defense had not been playing well, they just ride it out with Kirk Cousins because they paid him all the money and they just wouldn't admit the error. But that defense has the last 3 weeks, go look at what they've been doing on defense. They've been playing so well that the front office thinks, you know what, let's just play the rookie and see if we get a spark and get a few points here. I'm going to take Atlanta -1.5 on my teaser here to the Giants. And the last team I'm going to take here, also not giving away my pick on the Big Six picks, but I'm going to cross the line with the Eagles. Okay. I'm going to take the Eagles 3.5 to Washington Commanders. We're going to cross the line. It's going to give us the Eagles +3.5. If you think the Washington Commanders are going to beat the Eagles by a touchdown or more, don't do this one and just leave it off your teaser and only go 7 teams. But I'm going to go with 8, finishing it off there, like I said, with the Eagles +3.5 at Washington. So my money line picks for the week, you want to play a little money line, parlay here for the week. I'm going to take the Broncos, the Rams, the Buccaneers, and the Eagles all on the money line. 4-team parlay right there. I think $5 will pay you about 40. Worth a shot. Those teams there, I think, are going to cash in. That's our week this week. Now, you know how this thing goes. Friday, we're going to have a guest picker on the show. It's going to be the Big Pick 6 right here on DWMOD. We're going to give you those college football playoff games. We're going to give you the NFL games at the end of the episode. That episode is not just all gambling talk, guys. If that's what this show is for, the gamblers. This show is for people who are betting on sports casually, professionally. We have professional guest pickers on the show that are professional gamblers that will give you their pick. Andy is dialed into the Las Vegas side of things. You know me, I played a lot of football, coached a lot of football at a high level. I'm a football-headed guy. I attack a lot of these picks from a place if I see where a team is clicking and if they're feeling right. And then Andy will set you straight on where the numbers are, though, and let's put those two things together. That's why it's a great show for putting money in your pocket. Okay, this is the gambling show. But Friday, no. Friday's all about just chopping it up, talking sports, doing bits, having some laughs. We're going to have a good time. We're going to have some fun. And at the end of the show, we're running our competition. We're picking the 6 games all year long, and we're keeping track to see if the guest pickers can beat the host, me or Andy St. Clair. We'll see. We'll see. Last year, they did not. We pulled it out, ran away with that thing. This year, out in front right now. I'll give you those numbers, actually. Got those numbers somewhere here. Oh, here we go. For the Big Six picks right now, I'm in first place at 42-30. The guest pickers are in second place at 36-36. Andy St. Clair tied for third place at 36-36, with the over-under being the tiebreaker there, and Andy's bringing up the rear. So come on, guys. Tune in Friday. Check us out. We're now on Cuttin' Loose Entertainment. This is going to be a lot of fun. Check us out. Boom. We'll see you next time.
Wanna bet?
Cash money.
It's time for another episode of All Right Bet.
Wanna bet?
No! God, please, no! No!
Tease it. Tease it.
Wanna chicken dinner.
I'd buy that for $1.
Lou, a lot of people are starting to turn on that thing. Remember, we were riding you for weeks about what a terrible intro song you put together with the guy screaming, tease it, and we were getting hammered on the internet about how bad that intro was. So we've been making you roll with it. I am now getting messages that people have come around to it. It's hilarious and they love it. I don't know. We'll keep it for now, but I need you to fix that sooner or later, man.